Welcome, guys. It is Brad with College SportsCast. We are here to do Week 4 Game Day Pick'ems with our celebrity guest, Coleman Scott of Talkin, Kentucky. All right, guys, welcome back. It is Brad with College SportsCast. Like I said, we've got a guest picker here with us tonight. We've got Coleman Scott of Talkin, Kentucky with us tonight. What's up, Coleman?
What's up, man? I've never been called a celebrity before, so that's very nice of you to say. But, we've been doing some post-game shows, Brad, for UK football this year, so, I know you well. Haven't been on this show as much, but I'm glad to be here tonight. But I've been on a few times, so I'm starting to get comfortable with the college sportscast world here.
Right? Yeah, you've been on a few times. I've been on your show several, and then now we're kind of doing the joint combined show this year. We did a post-game football show last year. It was basically for yours, and then I ran it on mine some afterwards. But this year we're kind of doing a joint thing. So it's good to have you on. Good to have you back. You're going to be our guest picker tonight. And then, of course, at the bottom, we've got Hammerhead John Hammonds down at the bottom.
Hammerhead.
What's up?
Hammerhead. Oh, goodness gracious. Somebody go to Bowling. Somebody go to Bowling Green, hit him in the head with a hammer.
Golly, he's been wearing
in Bowling Green. Caden's in Bowling Green. He could head over there and hit him in the head. Yeah.
I'm close to Bowling Green. I'm not in Bowling Green, but I'm close.
Where are you at? Are you in Smith's Grove?
All right, guys.
Are you where the Buc-ee's is, Brad?
I'm close to. I'm in between Bowling Green and Scottsville.
Okay, gotcha.
Is where I am.
Gotcha. Just checking.
All right, if you are with us on Facebook tonight, you can help support us by sending stars, or you guys can subscribe to our Facebook page now. It's only 99 cents a month. It does give you your own subscribers College Sportscast page, and I do post stuff on that page as well. So that is a added bonus for you guys, and we appreciate it. Anything that you do will help us earn money to make more content for you guys. All right, we got Michael Taylor. What's up, Michael? And then we've got a John Roberts sighting. What is up, John Roberts?
Not a whole lot. Just
We got a John Roberts sighting here at College Sportscast. We got the whole crew.
We got two Johns in one place. That's not a good combination.
So we got the whole crew here with you tonight, plus our guest picker and Coleman Scott of Talkin, Kentucky. And we have got 12 big games this weekend to kind of go through. And with four of us, we're going to have to kind of be a little shorter probably with our picks. I do use DraftKings for my spreads. So I want to start out with that. And our first game of the week is going to be NC State and Clemson. NC State goes to Clemson. Clemson is a 19-point favorite at home in Death Valley. Hammonds, I'll go to you first. And what say you with the Wolfpack and the Clemson Tigers? The Tigers.
Oh, the Tigers. I got Clemson in this game. Back in the summer, you would have probably thought that this would not nearly be a 3-touchdown spread. But for me, this is a great opportunity for Clemson to really flex their muscles against a team that's not really played that well, the Wolfpack. Plus, they got a quarterback that's hobbled in Grayson McCall. So they'll have C.J. Bailey in there, a freshman going on the road to Death Valley is not a good combination, I don't think. So give me the Tigers, but I'm going to take NC State to cover the spread. I still think that's a pretty high spread compared to the other spreads that we got. It's a little high for my liking.
It is a high spread. I kind of agree with you on that one. But I'm going to be honest with you, Roberts. NC State don't usually play too well in Death Valley. They kind of struggle there.
Yeah, so I'm going Clemson on this one. I'm actually going to have Clemson cover the spread because I think that Clemson will play a lot of defense. I think you may get a few non-offensive touchdowns is where the spread's going to come from. So I think it's going to be a few non-offensive touchdowns, pick sixes or picks that pick off that set up really good field position, and then a quick strike from the Clemson offense. Even though the Clemson offense hasn't been like great, it's not been fantastic, but I think the defense is going to create offense, and I think that's where you're going to see the big. The reason why it's going to be a 3 touchdown differential.
All right, that's fair. So I'll go next, and then I'll have Coleman go last on each one of these as our guest picker. For me, I thought this NC State team was going to be a challenger in the ACC. So far, they don't look like it. I mean, they went out and got McCall. And they have, I think, one of the best receivers in the ACC. And I thought this Wolfpack team was going to put up some points and possibly challenge for the ACC championship game before the season. But they haven't looked good. Last week, was it La Tech? I think they were playing last week. They were behind 20-17. Late third, early fourth, they come back and won 30-20 at home. But man, the way they have played so far, they got destroyed by Tennessee. I mean, destroyed. And they usually kind of struggle at Clemson. So even though this is a high number, and like Roberts said, Clemson hasn't shown a high-powered offense yet. But even with all that said, I think I'm going to lay the 19 points and take Clemson at home in Death Valley. So,
key stat.
All right, Coleman.
Key stat real quick. NC State hasn't won there in 22 years, if that tells you.
Oh,
anything.
I know. They struggled there.
Winning isn't the issue. It's whether they whether the who covers. That's
right.
That's the issue.
Right. I'm just saying they struggle, and when they do lose, they lose by a big number more times than not. So, Coleman, NC State at Clemson. It was -19 on DraftKings.
I think week 4 is the week we really start to learn about the identity of teams. Using the example of Kentucky, against South Carolina, got totally crushed, but we saw a totally different team against Georgia last week. Not saying that NC State is Kentucky or that Clemson is Georgia necessarily here, but I'm with the Hammonds edition of John here. I'm thinking 19's kind of too big of a spread. I'm going to go NC State to shock the world and cover the 19. Don't think they win the game by any means, but I don't think Clemson covers here.
And I would have picked that for sure a few weeks ago before this season or before the Tennessee game. But after last week's struggle at home with La Tech, I'm going Clemson here. I'm sorry, guys. All right, the next game, it's an early game this week, so we're going to get to it right off the bat. We got 3 Kentucky guys here and an Auburn guy. I won't tell you who the Auburn guy is.
What?
But anyways, our next game is Ohio at Kentucky. Kentucky is a 19.5-point favorite. at home. Hammonds, is this a game that Kentucky finally shows some offense?
I think it is. We mentioned it earlier too. So this is a get right game for Kentucky. Get the offense straightened out, get your receivers together and your quarterbacks, and figure out how to score some points. Ohio is supposed to be one of the better squads in the MAC. They kept it competitive against Syracuse. I think they covered in that road game that they lost against Syracuse. Just make a forward pass is my biggest complaint. They're just having issues generating points, which is to me is going to make this covering the spread a little bit difficult because it's 19.5. They're only averaging 261 total yards per game, and that's not good. That's not going to win you many games in the SEC. They did look
16
great.
16 points per game,
and they looked great against Georgia last week. And I hear all the time, and me and Coleman was kind of talking about it. Well, they have a letdown game tomorrow. Will Stoops have them prepared for a game like this after being up high against a team like Georgia last week? It's hard to get up for a game like this. You just went toe-to-toe with the number one team in the country the following week. But I think they take care of things tomorrow. But I do not think they cover this spread. To me, this is another spread that's really high. And the way Kentucky has played offensively, I just don't trust it to be above that 19.5. And I think Ohio makes some late touchdowns to make it respectable. So,
all right. So, John Roberts, what do you think on this game?
So what was the spread again? One more time.
same as NC State.
It's 19.5.
Then look, I think Kentucky will use this as a springboard and be a get right game, just like you said there, John. So I think they will come out and play really well. As far as 19.5, yeah, I can see it. I can see like a 45 kind of 20 game or something that where you
20,
where you score
4 or something like that.
Yeah, where you score in the mid 40s or even in the low 40s and keep it to low 20s.
I will kind of bounce off of you a little bit. The Kentucky defense is a really good defense, and I don't think Ohio's going to be able to muster a lot of points. Now, they might get 17, 20, but Kentucky, people don't realize this is a really good defense. This is legit. They got 2 or 3 guys, 4 guys on that defense that's probably top 20, top 30 NFL draft. So, Ohio's going to have their hands full tomorrow with their defense.
Yep.
So, Roberts, are you taking the spread or no?
I'm taking the spread, yes. Sorry. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So for me, listen, this is an absolute get-right game. I've been saying that ever since last Saturday. And, when I say a get-right game, I'm talking about a get-right game for the offense. The defense showed up and played really well. If we can hold Georgia to 13 points, there is no way in where that we should be giving up 20 points to to Ohio. I'm sorry. If we can hold Georgia to 13, no, we should not be giving up 20 points to Ohio. I think this should be a big score. I want to see 40-plus points. I said it last week. I've been saying it all week. There is no way this defense gives up more than the 13 that we gave up to Georgia. If they
I don't think Georgia's offense is that
something's
great.
not right.
I don't think Georgia's offense is that great.
They still have more talent than Ohio.
Well, of course. I got that.
I don't care if Bobo. I don't care if Bobo. I don't care if Mike. I don't care if Mike Bobo is running it or not. They still have more talent than Ohio. Not Ohio State, Ohio.
they're
Okay.
Georgia for a reason. I mean, they still got talent everywhere. Like,
So give me Kentucky, and I am laying the 19.5, and they better is all I got to say. All right, Coleman, we're gonna do a post-game show tomorrow later after the game.
yeah, I don't want to.
And
I don't
hopefully-
hear no rant. I don't want to hear no rants tomorrow. I want
Hope-
to be.
Yeah.
Hopefully,
Yeah,
we'll all
hopefully-
be in a good mood.
Hopefully tomorrow night we won't have a South Carolina Brad going on a rant about how we didn't cover. But hey, first game of the season, Kyle McCord, Syracuse quarterback, threw for 354 yards and 4 touchdowns on this Ohio defense. So to me, there's absolutely no reason Brock Vandegrift and this receiving core can't do that. And like you said, Brad, they better. So I'm going to take Kentucky to cover the spread.
Absolutely. That's exactly where I am with this one. So, all right. Our next game, this is a big game for this week. USC. This is their first Big East trip flying out in the Big Ten. They are taking on and at the Big House against Michigan. And believe it or not, they are a 4.5-point favorite at Michigan, which is a little surprising to me since before the Texas game, they had won 23 straight home games. So, Hammonds, what do you think here, USC at Michigan?
Will a real quarterback please stand up for Michigan? Because
Well, they're starting Orgy. They're starting Orgy.
The quarterback play has been not so good, you know, and I'm going to take USC in this game. I'm going to get them to cover the 4.5. Miller Moss is going to do his thing. I think this USC team is really, really good. You know, we saw that against LSU. You know, they got a really improved defense. They got a playmaker in Branch on the outside. This is a really good USC football team. And I think they go into the Big House, and I think they win this game. And if they do win this game, I just don't see how Michigan can rally the troops and get back into the college football playoff. I think this year for Michigan is sort of one of those like rebuilding type seasons where they're not going to be so great. They'll get to a bowl game, but they're not going to be the Michigan that we thought they would be. And I think that's what happens tomorrow. I just don't think Michigan has the quarterback play to win this game. Plus, you know, their defense will be good. Their defense is always good. They'll keep them in the game, but you got to score points to win in college football.
All right. John Roberts, what say you here at this game?
So yeah, I mean, look, Michigan has not been very good on offense. USC has improved their defense. We saw that against LSU. We saw that their defense is just a lot better than what it used to be. Along with their offense being a Lincoln Riley offense, Miller Moss has done really well. He's got several different receivers that he can go to. I think USC takes it to Michigan. It's going to look a lot like Texas bludgeoning Michigan. So same thing, USC, fight on.
Raise the sword.
Interesting. So, listen, I have not, I will fully admit, I have not watched 1 second of USC this season so far. Not 1 second.
You didn't even watch the LSU game?
I
Shame
kind of
on
lost
you.
it.
Shame on
Oh
you,
my
Brad.
God. Oh my God.
I lost interest in USC like 2 years ago. They can't play defense. Now I hear they're playing better defense this year. And I've always said until they really show me that they can play defense, I just don't have any interest in watching them at all. So this is the week, guys. If you're a USC Trojan, this is a week. If you can go into the Big House and beat Michigan at home, where they hardly ever lose, I'll be back on board. I'll pay attention to USC.
Will you give me a raise? Will you give me a raise?
Here you go, guys.
On the podcast.
This is your opportunity right here. Brad is taking USC, and I ain't took USC in 3 years or 2.5. And I'm gonna lay the 4.5 points at the Big House. Here's your opportunity. All right, Coleman, what you got?
Yeah, guys, the only thing you really need to know is Michigan struggled with Arkansas State last week. USC, I did watch the LSU game. USC is much improved on defense. No, LSU had some offensive struggles to start the season. They struggled with South Carolina last week too, but they might be better than we thought. I'm going USC as well. I think they win and cover pretty easily, actually. And I'm with you, Brad, that this is their chance. This is their chance to win over all of us SEC people. So yeah,
I'm not so much to say that if Michigan can't move the football tomorrow, in certain instances, USC can make this a blowout. Like
they are starting Orgy. They're not starting the Davis Warren guy.
Saying.
Yeah, Orgy, who was beat out by a walk-on. Let's just remember that. Orgy was beat out by a walk-on.
Yes, I get it.
What does that tell you about Orgy?
He was the star quarterback and got beat out. You're right.
And
I'm just saying.
There you go.
I'm pointing it out just so everybody knows that they're starting not the walk-on tomorrow. All right. We are moving on. We are going to talk about Georgia Tech and the Cardinals. Which is hard for me to do, but we are going to talk about it. All right. So Georgia Tech is going to Louisville tomorrow. Louisville is a 10-point favorite at home against this Georgia Tech team that, of course, in week 2 beat FSU. Week 1. I'm sorry, that was week 1 in Ireland. Week 0, actually, that they beat them. So now they are traveling to Louisville, and Louisville's a 10-point favorite. Hammonds, how do you think this game goes? And is 10 points the right amount or too much, or what do you think?
I'm going to have Georgia Tech covering the spread. The reason I say that is because, Louisville's played Austin Peay and Jacksonville State. They haven't really played anybody yet as of, the ACC to this point. Georgia Tech has. They beat Florida State. They only lost by 3 against Syracuse. Louisville's played only 2 games against basically FCS schools. Let's just leave it at that. And I think they could be rusty tomorrow.
Hey, put some respect on Jacksonville State.
I'm just saying. Not every FCS school is bad. I'm just saying there's a few out there that's not.
Jacksonville State's not FCS. Come on. Remember that.
Well, I know. But
not anymore.
But here's the thing. Louisville's defense has improved.
Who?
But they're going up against a really good quarterback in Haynes King. And I wouldn't be shocked if Georgia Tech was to win this game, to be honest. But I'm going to take the Cardinals, but I'm going to take Tech to cover the spread. Haynes King's really, really good.
He's played good so far. I don't know if he's really, really good, but he's played good so far. I will give him that.
Well, he did have 300 yards last year against Louisville, so that tells you that he's pretty decent. So,
all right, John Roberts, what say you?
Oh yeah, I'm definitely going.
You going Yellow Jackets or Cards?
Oh, I'm going Yellow Jackets. Hey, we're going Rambling Wreck from Georgia Tech. So, yeah.
Okay.
I just think that I think that Georgia Tech's much improved from years past. They proved it against Florida State, even though Florida State's looked really bad over the last 3 weeks. Georgia Tech was a lot better and much improved in that game. And then Syracuse is better than what people had thought that they would be. And they only lost by 3 to Syracuse. And I believe that was at Syracuse, right? So,
It was.
yeah. So,
to be fair,
I think I think Georgia Tech with Haynes King, and this is not, this is the Haynes King that Texas A&M thought they were going to get and never got. And I think that he and the Yellow Jacket offense and Brent Keys are going to actually win this game, but they're definitely inside the cover. I mean, they're definitely covering. So it's Georgia Tech all the way. So
to be fair,
All right.
What Coleman said, Kyle McCord is having an absolutely outstanding year so far. He's really lighting it up for Syracuse. So that was not a shabby win last week for Syracuse.
No. So, with this, guys, I mean, I can't see. I'm just going to throw it out here. He might surprise me, but I can't see Coleman taking the Cardinals here in this game. So I'm just going to throw that to the side. So it seems like all of us here, I thought maybe Roberts might be the one that's different here on this one. But my thing with Georgia Tech is this. How they won the Florida State game was they dominated the offensive and defensive line. And I really like the way Brent has them playing on that offensive line.
An offensive line coach.
I think
an
that's
offensive line coach
in games. Yes.
And he's playing
absolutely. Yes. And an offensive line player. He was an offensive line player.
Well, and they're playing his identity of football. Like
I think I know that's what I was saying. That's what I was talking about. So I think because of that, I think the 10 points is too high. So I'm going to take the 10 points and take Georgia Tech here. And then Coleman, like I said, you might surprise me here on this one. I don't know.
No, I don't think I'm going to surprise you. I think I'm going to take Georgia Tech to win outright, actually, in this one. And, yeah, they looked really good against Florida State, Brad. You're absolutely right. I think just that first loss has kind of gotten Florida State off to a rocky start, right? So, I mean, they absolutely dominated, on both sides of the line of scrimmage. You're absolutely right. And Haynes King is looking good. You're right, John. I mean, I thought he played great against Florida State. Seems very poised. I know Brad just says he's playing well up to this point, but I think he is a great quarterback. One of my best friends is actually on Louisville staff right now, but sorry, Steven, I'm going to take Georgia Tech. Go Jackets.
All right. All right, John Roberts. This one's for you, but we're going to start with Hammonds. But we got Arkansas going to Auburn. Auburn is a 2.5-point favorite at home against the Razorbacks. And John Hammonds, going to start with you, kind of go around the horn here. What do you think with this game at Jordan-Hare?
You really want my opinion?
Yes, please give it.
Of course.
I think
that's what we're doing, right?
I think Auburn has had spurts where they look really good and they look not so good. I'm really more on the side of Arkansas is more consistent offensively. But I will say this: Arkansas's back fronts in the secondary has been kind of spotty, and I think Auburn could take advantage of that throwing through the air, but they haven't really looked that great throwing through the air. And up until last week with Hank Brown, I thought he played really well against New Mexico, but you're going up a step up in competition this week. So, but I'm going to take Arkansas to win this game, but I would not be shocked if Auburn won this game either. This is actually a sneaky good game this week. Like a lot of people are not talking about. I think it's a really good game.
All right, Roberts, what do you think about that?
Sorry, Robert.
How you like them apples?
I hate to break your heart.
Why would you be breaking my heart?
Well, I mean, I know you love your Auburn Tigers. I mean, it's pretty evident.
Hey, why don't y'all? I'm gonna go last on this one.
You want to go last?
I want to go last, or I'll go after you, and we can let Coleman go after me. It doesn't matter, either way.
Okay, all right. It doesn't matter. All right, for me, I'm gonna switch this up. I'm the opposite. So this game at 2.5, to me, I'm going to surprise you here. I know a lot of people are saying that this game is going to be one of the games of the week and that Arkansas is going to have a shot and they're going to come in here. I'm saying hold up a second here, guys. I think 2.5 at home for Auburn, I think it's the lock of the week. I'm taking Auburn.
Brad,
100%. I'm taking Auburn on the lock.
You're going on a limb with this because Auburn has not looked that great.
Absolutely, I'm going on a limb. That's exactly what I said. I'm absolutely going out on a limb. I think that all the stuff that people are talking, I think is a bunch of hogwash, if you get what I'm saying here. And I think that, I mean, Arkansas struggled last week too. I mean,
yeah,
against a not so worthy opponent.
Well, and here's people saying, well, home field.
And I just don't, at home, John, at home, give me Arkansas. Give me Auburn and at the 2.5 points, and I'm locking this in. I think this is a 10-point win for Auburn. I really do.
I will say this: if Arkansas wins, you have to give me a raise. Is that a deal?
All right, Coleman, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm with you, Brad, on the home field on the home field advantage here. I feel like Auburn has more of a home field advantage than anybody in the SEC. I know I'm kind of going out on limbs saying that, but I feel like when other teams go there, they forget how to play football. I don't know what it is. Every time they play at home, it's just a close game.
Let me just remind you that we played Cal in Jordan-Hare and we played New Mexico State in Jordan-Hare. Just remind you those two facts.
Cal didn't think so.
Yeah, Cal
well,
definitely didn't think so.
But yeah, I mean, in a vacuum, right? I would pick Arkansas this game in this game easily. That's why this is hard for me, is because I feel like Auburn in conference, especially. I know we mentioned those other out of conference games, but when it comes to SEC ball, I feel like Auburn always plays well at home. But I think because Arkansas kind of had a slow start last week, struggled a little bit, I think they're going to come in ready to play. I'm taking Arkansas in this.
That's the part that I'm worried about. The slow start against UAB. Now the other part I'm fine with, but you come out against like that against Auburn on the road, you're probably gonna get blown out. More than not. So you can't do what you did against UAB last week and win.
All right, John Roberts, the floor is yours. You're in Birmingham. You were messaging me last week talking about UAB being up on Arkansas in like the third quarter. So I'm giving you the floor. Arkansas at Auburn, 2.5 on DraftKings.
Just remember, ULM was one of the worst teams in college football, and they blew UAB out. Then UAB the next week goes to Arkansas and makes a hell of a game out of it. So transitive properties, because those are always law in college football, right? Says that Arkansas is not very good. However, Arkansas put up a lot of points against Oklahoma State, which apparently also is Big 12, and Big 12 is known for nothing but offense and no defense. So not really sure. I mean, really, in all honesty, I think Arkansas really fits the Big 12 mold. They are a lot of offense and not very much on defense. But at the same time, last week, they started out very slow. Auburn's problem on defense is that they start out bad. They're very good in the second half. They're a great second half defense. They are a bad first half defense. Okay. If Arkansas starts out like they did against UAB, this will look like last year in Arkansas. Remember, last year in Arkansas, Auburn blew them out. Auburn with a worse team. That team had hardly any talent. And they went to Arkansas and absolutely waxed the floor with them. Okay. I think that the number is too skinny, it's too small. So even if Arkansas wins the game or whatever, I mean, look, I don't think Arkansas is going to win the game. I think Auburn is going to not only win, but it's going to be by more than 3 points. So I think they cover. I honestly believe that they are going to be able to kind of have their way with running the ball. I think they have kind of figured out, oh my God, we're going to give Jarquez Hunter the ball 20 times. And when we do that, it opens up all the passing lanes. Hank Brown was 100% in his very first start as a starting quarterback with checking to the run game, something that Peyton Thorne wasn't very good at doing. He wasn't good at checking down to the run game. He wasn't good at checking down when he was passing to the running backs. He made maybe 1 or 2 mistakes in terms of which one to throw it to, which receiver to throw it to. But I think
too, so
it's his first start. He played about a half or so in the bowl game back in December, and he hasn't gone against true diversity yet, or so I'm not. Or adversity, sorry, that's kind of a weird diversity, but he's hadn't gone through true adversity yet. I don't think this is the week. I don't think this is. I don't think this is the game that happens in. I think his next start is when he will actually truly start facing adversity next week.
Oklahoma, yeah,
correct. And then the week after that is Georgia.
I agree with you.
But I think this week is
we're gonna move on. We're gonna move on, John. But I think I'm with you on this one. I think Auburn wins this pretty easily above 3 points. I just do. I have a pretty good feeling about it. Might come back next week and y'all be like, nah. I don't know. We'll see. Especially Hammonds.
Yeah,
all right. The next
I'll
game
come back on too and
that we're going to talk about. Yeah. The next game we're going to talk about is down where Coleman is, actually. So we're going to talk about UCLA coming to LSU. And LSU is a 3-point favorite at home. And Hammonds, what do you think about this game? I think this UCLA team is very good. That's my quick opinion.
I'm just going to make this short and sweet.
What do you think here?
I'm going to make this short and sweet.
That's kind of the way I feel.
I don't think this is going to be a fun trip for UCLA tomorrow. They come in.
Hammonds, I got to ask you, why is game day there? Because this game is not.
You
I don't
mean-
understand why.
you mean
Game-
It's
Game Day's in
SEC Nation.
Oklahoma.
it's
SEC
SEC
Nation.
Nation. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean SEC Nation.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
That was another mind-boggling thing that I didn't understand. Here's the problem.
I don't understand.
UCLA,
I really don't.
here's the problem UCLA is going to have. They're going to be facing a really tough road crowd at Tiger Stadium, and what should be it's supposed to be pretty hot tomorrow. Honestly, is it supposed to be hot tomorrow?
I think so.
Yeah,
it's
it's hot. It's hot every day here. So
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
hot.
I think so.
I think that's going to be.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be a concern because of going that cross country trip. I think LSU should be ready to make a statement in this game. I think they'll do so at the expense of UCLA. Give me the 21 and lay it down. Maybe even more than that. LSU wins this by however. Name the score at this point. Because Brad called me the other night.
Okay.
He said, How bad is UCLA? I was like, yeah, they're pretty bad.
Seriously. Okay, so John Roberts, what say you on this one?
Couple things.
The real Death Valley, by the way.
Couple things. So Kelly left UCLA in shambles. Deshaun Foster is picking up the pieces. Came late. Yeah, LSU.
It's a day game.
I'm calling for a lot of cramps, a lot of injuries with cramps, a little cramping going on, a lot of leg injuries going on for LSU or for UCLA. LSU can pretty much name whatever score they want. I think LSU wins by the 21.
Real quick.
It's really bad, but yeah, that's it.
Real quick. It's a day game, Pete. It's at 3:45.
Yeah.
I believe, and
yeah, Pete says is it a 9 or a day game? It's I think
It's early.
2:45 local time. So yeah, it's early.
Yeah, it's early in the day or late afternoon rather.
Okay. I'm going to make this real quick for me. There is no way in the world I'm taking UCLA after what they've shown 3 weeks through the season. Give me the Tigers. And I'm taking them to cover this 21 points fairly easily. Okay, Coleman, now to you.
Yeah, Brian Kelly, we talked about this on my show, Brad. He always starts slow. He always loses that opening game, but then he gets rolling. Brian Kelly can crap out 10-2 seasons. So this is right around the time that Brian Kelly gets rolling. I think the Tigers roll tomorrow night. It's going to be rocking. Paul Feinbaum is here about 5 minutes from my house, and, everybody's just excited. So, yeah, I'll take the Tigers easily here.
That seems pretty common sense to me in this game, to be quite honest with you. All right, so we are halfway through here. So I am going to let Howie from the Real Fresh channel talk to you guys for just a second here.
You need new entertainment. You need full-length content. You need the Real Fresh channel. Hey, I'm How Fresh from the Real Fresh channel. Subscribe today on YouTube. We have new content. We are a network of podcasters putting out new stuff every single day. Whether you need sports, pro or college, whether you need comedies, whether you need pop culture, whether you need wrestling. We've got so much content on there. Gaming. Check it out. Live, not live. We've got it all. The Real Fresh channel. Subscribe today.
All right, guys, that was Howie Fresh from the Real Fresh channel at the bottom of the screen there. He's one of our partners here at College SportsCast, that and WSBN TV Channel 30. You can find College SportsCast through the Boxcast app. Look up World Sports Broadcasting Network, and you can find us on your Roku, Apple TV, or Fire TV. So always try to get that in on the show as well. All right, guys, we are at the halfway point, so we might want to speed this up just a little bit. But The next game we're going to talk about is a big one, I think, this week, and one that I am looking forward to, and that is Utah at Oklahoma State. And believe it or not, Utah is a 1-point favorite this evening at Stillwater.
Yeah, the
Hammonds,
line.
what do you think on this game?
The line has moved a lot and back and forth. Many said Rising's going to
It
play.
has.
Many said he's not going to play. We won't know until he gets out there. But if Rising does play, she's expected to play. I think Utah wins this game. You know, Oklahoma State to me has not run the ball really well at all. You know, they got to get Ollie Gordon involved. They got to get him going. And they just have not been able to do that as of late. Utah's going to move the football efficiently, I think, for most of this game. Oklahoma State's in for a really big challenge on either side of the ball because offensively they're good. Utah's always got a pretty great defense. They're always pretty consistent. The last 3-4 years, 5, they've stayed pretty high up in the rankings. So I think this is a tough game for Oklahoma State. So to me, Utah's the better team. I will bet on the Utes money line and take the points. Give me Utah +1. I think they cover this spread.
All right. So, John Roberts, what say you here? Oklahoma State at Oklahoma State.
I think if Cam Rising plays, I think that they have their best chance of winning. Oklahoma State can put up offense. Obviously, we saw that in other games that they can give up offense. Utah has always been known for defense, being able to be defensive, but with Cam Rising, that does give them a lot of offense. And I'm gonna lean Utah on this one, even though, yeah, I'm gonna lean Utah, even though it's on the road for them.
All right. I mean, this is a little surprising to me, being at Oklahoma State, and Oklahoma State has played pretty well, minus the Arkansas game at home that they came back in to win. But I think they have played pretty well, and 3-0. Utah, of course, was my Big 12 pick. I'm not going to go against them. Everybody that watches this show knows that I am a Bad Moon Rising fan, and I absolutely love Cam Rising. Now, here's the deal. If he doesn't play, Oklahoma State's going to cover and probably win this game. If Cameron Rising plays, I'm taking Utah to win. So there you go. I'm with the Utes and Cam Rising. All right, Coleman.
I mean, Mike Gundy's a man. He's 40. I mean, that's a tough place to play. I mean, you think
50 years old. 50.
Yeah, he's 50 now. So he's a man. He's 50.
He's double.
I don't know, man. It's hard to pick against Oklahoma State at home, man. Do you guys really think Utah's on that level that they can go in and steal one in Stillwater?
I think defensively they could.
Man, yep. I'll be different here.
They won the Pac-12 2 years in a row.
I'll be different here for sake of keeping it interesting. I'll go Oklahoma State on this one. We'll see. I mean, Utah would be my pick to win the conference, but I'll just to be different, I'll go Oklahoma State.
Okay, fair enough. I try to do that every once in a while as well. Our next game, Vandy is at Missouri. This is a game that I think a lot of times surprises us as SEC fans. I put it on here because they always seem to play 1 or 2 games of the year way higher than what you think they're going to play. And I'm talking Vandy here. It's at Missouri, and Missouri is a 19.5-point favorite. What do you think here, Hammonds, on this game?
I got Missouri covering. Vanderbilt to me just doesn't have the weapons to hurt Missouri through the air. Now they're capable of playing probably some solid defense. Missouri just hasn't. Me and Brad spoke about this the other day. Missouri just has not looked like Missouri. They just haven't looked that great. But there's always that one game where they just turn it on, and I think this will be that game. I think they'll lean on their defense. They shut Boston College down on the rushing attack last week because Boston College is a really good running team. They got probably one of the best running backs in the country, and I think that'll be more of the same this week. Give me Missouri and the 19.5. I don't think Missouri or Vanderbilt has really all the weapons to go into Columbia and win this game. I think they could come out like Boston College did last week and maybe go get ahead 10-7 or something. But I think when it all boils down to it, Missouri will put them away late in the second half.
All right, John Roberts. What about Diego here? Does he have a shot covering this 19.5?
You took the words right out of my mouth. I was like, what about Diego Pavia?
Yeah. I think he's
That
going to go.
man is a source of lots of nightmares in Auburn fans.
Yeah. I had to take you there. So
I know you did. You took me right to Diego Pavia.
Yep.
I'm going Missouri. Sorry.
Okay. Played it simple. All right. For me here, I'm kind of surprised. I was talking to Hans earlier this week. Like, I really felt like Brady Cook coming back with that offense that they put up last year. And you got Luther Burden back. And I really thought that Brady Cook might be a top 5, top 3 quarterback in the SEC, despite there being Ewers and Beck and, a lot of these really good quarterbacks that's getting a lot of pub. I thought Brady Cook was going to be right there with these guys. He was last year, numbers-wise, and he's not been quite there yet so far this year. So I'm a little concerned about this Missouri team, but playing Vandy at home could always be that get-right game. So I'm going to take the 19. I'm going to lay the 19.5 and take the Missouri Tigers. But I am kind of questioning that in this game. All right, Coleman. Your mic's muted.
How about now?
Nope.
Are we good now?
There you go.
Okay.
There you go.
I was muted in 5 places. Sorry about that. Well, I said Columbia is another place that people go in and they forget how to play football. So I think Vandy's magic has sort of run out here. They after losing to Georgia State. I think Missouri's looked great. Boston College might be better than people think. They still got the win last week. I'm going Missouri to cover. Yeah, I mean, it feels kind of weird to say that, but I think they do cover the 19.5.
Fair enough. I just really kind of thought that Brady Cook would be stat-wise a leader in the SEC, and so far he's not quite there. So that's all I'm saying. All right, the next game we're going to talk about, I got to talk about this game. We got California coming to FSU. We got a 3-0 team versus an 0-3 team, and it's not what everybody thought. So, Hammonds, FSU is still a 2.5-point favorite at home. Help me make some sense of that.
And help me make some sense that I want to pick FSU to win this game, because at this point, are they going to look good enough to even win a game? Like, their defense is struggling, which, to be fair, they played really good last week against Memphis. Their offense just couldn't get drives to get it and they couldn't score. But I like FSU in this game, but I'm going to lay the points on California to cover in this game. I just don't. DJ Ungulale, I don't trust this guy. And that's not as a person.
I like
I'm
that
talking-
comment, by the way.
I'm talking as a quarterback. I just don't think he's that great of a quarterback. And I think FSU finds enough defense tomorrow, and I think they find enough points, and I think they find enough ways to win this game. But I don't think it's going to be a blowout by any means. California did go into Auburn, which granted Auburn's not the greatest, but team in the country, but they went into Auburn and won, where many teams don't go into Jordan-Hare and win. And they can do the same in Tallahassee, but I just think FSU will probably figure it out tomorrow, and I think their struggles will be under-exaggerated for at least 1 week. But
I'm just
afraid
not there,
I'm afraid to even pick this game now because I just don't trust FSU.
I'm not there. Roberts, you saw California up close and personal. They have a really good defense. Really good defense. What do you say California going to FSU here? And FSU being a 2.5 point
If Florida State wins, the Auburn fan base may just absolutely go nuts, because then you're going to see an 0-3 team that's looked like dog crap come out, beat a team that beat your team. So that would absolutely kill the Auburn fan base if
Here's
Florida
the
State
thing.
beats
The
California.
biggest problem with California is, I guess John watched it last week, is if they would run the ball a little bit better, this would probably been a lot more. It's probably been 28-14, 28-17. They struggled to run the ball, and
They did,
I
but
thought that was
Auburn
real
was
good.
also playing the run first.
Yeah, in which that happens in games.
So, which every team that plays Cal is going to probably play the run first, and then see if what's his name, Ferdinand.
So
Fernando.
are you taking the Bears here in this, Roberts?
Yeah, I'm gonna go the Antifa Cal Bears beating the Florida State.
I know what you're referring to.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Here's my deal. DJU, that I call him because I ain't even attempting his last name.
Uwe Ungale.
Uwe
Ungale.
It's
Uwe
Uwe.
Ungale. I don't even. There's wait a second. There's no N in it.
Uwe
You
Ungale.
can't say Ungale with an N sound.
Tua Tagovailoa doesn't have an N
Tua
either.
Tagovailoa,
Come on.
Uwe Ungale,
Uwe
There's no
Ungale.
N in it. I'm sorry.
Uwe Ungale. Uwe Ungale.
I'm sorry.
There you go. Uwe
All
Ungale.
right. Wait a
Yes.
second.
Keep going. La 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 la.
All right.
Yeah.
He's been terrible, and Cal has a great defense. It's that simple. I just
He
don't
is
see
what
it.
he is. Yeah, you're gonna see. You should.
And
It
he's been
should look
terrible.
like the Auburn
and
game.
Cal has
It should look
maybe
like the
one of
Auburn game.
better
It-
ACC defenses.
It should look like the Auburn
you
game.
wanna know
You should
what's
see
even-
4 or 5 turnovers.
You want to know what's even crazier to think about? Is if California was to win this game, they could win the ACC.
They own
Absolutely.
this SEC. They
I mean,
own,
I
they own
think
the
they're on that path.
Southeast.
I know that sounds crazy, but they could win the ACC if they.
I'm telling you right now, I'm taking the Bears to win this game simply because of their defense. And FSU, they scored 12 points last week. I mean, they look terrible. I mean, come on. And that was against Memphis. I mean, we're not talking about they played Georgia or Clemson or – I mean, I know Memphis is a good team, but you ought to be able to put up some points. And California has a good defense. So give me the Bears.
Yeah.
Bears.
For all the
Coleman?
reasons that you just mentioned, Brad, I'm gonna go California. I think the wheels have fallen off at FSU. I just don't see how they muster up enough confidence to win this game.
You think the wheels have fallen off this week? Wait till they was to lose to California tomorrow.
Exactly, and I think they will.
It's going to get worse.
It's not going to be good. I can tell you that.
No.
All right, guys, we are here. The biggest game of the week. We're here. Tennessee is a 7-point favorite at Oklahoma. That is huge at Oklahoma, I think. That is a huge, huge number. I don't know any other team really that would be favored by +7, -7 at Oklahoma. So Hammonds, I know there's a lot of talk on this game, and it's the biggest game, Heupel, all this stuff that's going on. What say you, Tennessee at Oklahoma? Tennessee is a -7.
It don't get no bigger than this. You know, Josh Heupel's going back to his alma mater where he won a national championship back in 2000. The place is going to be absolutely rocking, electric. But Oklahoma fans, I'm sorry. I think Tennessee covers this game. And I say that because Tennessee's offense is just another level, another dimension. Nico is just a really good quarterback. You got Squirrel White, you got Brew McCoy, you got the Brazil kid. And that ain't even to talk about their running.
He mentions those every week, by the way.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying. I say that because they're good. They're really, really good. And, you know, Oklahoma's got a good defense. They got an improved defense. They swarm to the ball. But they have not shown me enough offensively to hang with this Tennessee team. As a result, even on the road, I think Josh Heupel goes and beats his old team because I just don't think Oklahoma has enough weapons offensively to go toe for toe with Tennessee's offense. Tennessee's offense is on another level, man. And I know that, and I know people are gonna say, well, they beat Chattanooga, they beat who was
and
it?
Kent State.
Kent State,
come on. And NC State looked like they played.
Yeah, but they were
like,
up.
A bullfight.
They were up 65-0 at half. Isn't that right? I don't care who you're playing.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't care who you're playing. That's crazy.
And then Brad had one.
That's not Oklahoma Sooners.
Where they went for an onside kick, which got Brad's temper fired up a little bit.
Yeah, they'll only be up 28-0. They'll only be up 28-0 on Oklahoma.
Oh, get Brad stirred up tonight. Friday night, Brad.
All right, John Roberts, what say you on this?
I got Tennessee winning, covering the spread.
So Oklahoma back in 2013 had Josh Heupel as a offensive coordinator. They were one of some mid-level offense playing against Clemson with Brent Venables' defense, and Venables' defense absolutely smothered the Oklahoma offense. Oklahoma and Bob Stoops fired Josh Heupel and a former player a guy that had played with Bob Stoops in college. All right. That was Jay Norvell, head coach at where is he
Utah
at?
State.
Utah State.
State, I think.
No, it's Colorado State.
Colorado State. It's Colorado State.
Is it Colorado State? Okay.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good. It's Colorado State.
Okay.
Heupel is going to be out for revenge. He was only showcasing what he will do with the onside kick up 30, and I can almost flat out guarantee he'll do it again. Yes, he will do it again because he will be up 30. So yes, it's Tennessee. They will kick the living crap out of Oklahoma, and Josh Heupel will be just laughing at the other side because he's not doing this against Brent Venables. He is doing this against Bob Stoops. Bob Stoops will be on the other side, and he will be beating the
Oh, yeah,
ever-loving
absolutely,
crap out
100%.
of Bob Stoops. Thank you very much, Tennessee.
I get
Go
it.
Vols.
I get it. And I'm sure everything you just said about revenge and all of that is going to be at the forefront here in this game. However, if you're the Oklahoma Sooners, you cannot let Tennessee come into your house in the SEC opener and destroy you. I don't give a crap how good Josh Heupel's offense is. I don't give a crap how good of the players he's got. I don't give a crap. You cannot let Tennessee come in to your house
hold
in
on,
the
hold on.
SEC
Hey,
opener.
hey, let's calm your jets down, okay? Tennessee's defense is also top 5 defense in the country.
Yeah, they're really good too.
Listen,
Oklahoma's
I
offense ain't
understand.
that good.
No, it's not. And but they do have a good defense.
So here's another thing.
But
One
no,
last
you're
thing.
right.
One
The
last
offense is
thing.
not good.
One last thing. Most of the last, I don't know, 30 national champions had a top 25 offense and a top 25 defense. He's got
I
like
know that.
top 2 both. So what do you think that means for Tennessee?
It means they suck.
That's
Okay.
your blue goggles right there. But yes.
It means they suck.
Oh goodness!
All right. God, guys, y'all have no idea how bad I want to pick Oklahoma in this game just for the pure
We know why.
meanness of it. I mean, you have
we
no
know,
idea.
We know exactly why.
However, the smart part, the common sense in me says says Tennessee probably wins by more than a touchdown. I do not think by any means that this game will be 30-0 like what you guys said early in this game. If it is, I will be shocked. But I am going to take Tennessee in the 7 points, which is not easy for me to say.
So deflated.
Do we have this on
Y'all
camera?
have no idea.
Do we have this on video?
Y'all have no idea. Ugh. It actually makes my skin crawl. And I'm not playing.
Don't fret, Brad. We know you
Okay,
like the
Coleman.
we know you like the T on the helmet. We know
Yeah.
Okay, Coleman.
Yeah,
So
so
hush.
it pains me to say it too, but the spread could be 21 in this game, and I would still take Tennessee. I think this is the lock of the week for me. This is the corn don't grow at all on Rocky Top. Dirt's too rocky by far. Lock of the week. So I'm taking Tennessee here easily.
I just think, to me, Oklahoma just don't have the quarterback. The quarterback's going to be the difference, I think.
Jackson Arnold's going to show out. I'm sorry. I'm just saying. All right. Here we go, guys. We're going to Boulder, Colorado, where Coleman went to school at one point in time. So I'll let him talk about that if he wants to. But Baylor at Colorado. Colorado is a 1.5 point favorite. Hammonds, what do you think here in this one?
I haven't really watched a lot from Baylor, but the games that I did see, but they're not a great team. I don't know what happened to Dave Aranda. He's downhill since that 1 year that he had at Baylor, and it's just not been the same to me. I think Colorado will cover the spread in this game. I think, they got the athleticism on offense to win this game. To me, they got two of the best players in the country, and Travis Hunter and Shadur Sanders. I mean, if you have those two on your team, a lot of times you're going to win games, but you got to have a little help. And I don't think Colorado has that beyond them, which they played really well last week against Colorado State. So, but they're at home, I think, and this is a very young Baylor team, and they have to go on the road, and I think those will play a big factor in Colorado winning this and coming out on top. And I think if they win this game, I think it gives them a good opportunity to get to a bowl game, because there's a couple of games in there where I think they got a chance to go to a bowl.
All right, John Roberts. What's the hand?
That was Tennessee.
We
That's me being paused right now. So I'm not doing that right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, you're in pause or something.
Yeah, something like that. Colorado.
All right.
That's it.
Colorado.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty simple. I kind of feel that same way. I mean, I think Travis Hunter's the best player in this game. I actually think Travis Hunter is top 4 or 5 in the country and could be top in the country. When you play almost every snap on both sides of the ball and play at the level he does on both sides of the ball, I think that makes a statement beyond the quarterback play for the Heisman, just to be honest with you. And so, I mean, for me, I think Travis Hunter should be in that race. And I'm not sold on the Baylor Bears here. And being in Boulder, I'm going to give the edge here to the Buffaloes. And I think the Buffs are going to cover this 1.5 point spread.
Yeah, you're right, Brad.
Coleman,
I
what do
did
you
go.
got?
You're right, Brad. I did go to school there, and I wasn't there during the Dion era, so people weren't quite as crazy about football when I was there. I don't think the fans really even knew where the stadium was. But now the tide's turned a little bit there. I think this is one of the last games on the schedule that Colorado could conceivably win. I mean, I don't think there's not a lot of games on this schedule that are winnable for Colorado, in my opinion. So I think they'll
Right.
be juiced to
I
get
agree
this
with you
one.
on that.
Yeah, I think they'll be juiced to get this one for sure. So I'll give the slight edge to Colorado. I don't love, I don't love taking them big or anything. I don't think they'll win easily, but I'll go ahead and take.
I think
Yeah.
I think Kansas is winnable. I think
Yeah,
Texas Tech is winnable. I think Cincinnati's winnable. And then the Baylor game's winnable. I think there's a good chance that they could get 4 or 5 wins there, 6 maybe, and get to a bowl game. But a few of those are on the road. So
I think being on the road, I don't know for sure. The Colorado State game, I think people are overreacting about because Colorado State's not great. But it being
But
at
if
home,
you're going to talk about bowls,
yeah,
but if you're going to talk about bowl games for them, they got to win at home against Baylor here. I mean, and it's only a 1.5 point spread. So,
yeah,
I mean, if you're going to get to a bowl, you got to win at home here.
You lose this game, the bowl chance goes plumb out the window.
Yeah. I don't think they can win those games on the road. Maybe Cincinnati at home, John, but I don't know about those road games.
Cincinnati hasn't really impressed.
Yeah.
I don't think, but
yeah.
All right, we're going to stay in the Big 12. I had several Big 12 games here. This is 2 3-0 teams that has started 3-0, and BYU's kind of a surprise to be 3-0, and they're at home. And Provo's a tough place to play, and Kansas State is going in there and is a 7-point favorite. And that's a tough place to play. BYU seems to start the season off pretty well here. So, Hammonds, what do you think?
I got Kansas State in this game. BYU's got a couple of guys banged up at running back. They got 2 of their top backs are out, or was last week. To me, Kansas State's coming in. They beat Arizona last week, which I'm not real high on Arizona, which we'll talk about them later in the year, but you can't be looking ahead the next week against Oklahoma State. They play a home game next week against the Cowboys. I think you don't need to be looking ahead to this. And like you said, this is a tough place to play in Provo. But I think Kansas State gets it done, and they find a way to win this game. Sorry.
Okay. So,
Got a
John
phone call.
Roberts, what do you think in this one?
But give me K-State.
Yeah, I agree. K-State. I think it's late that they pull out, but K-State.
Okay. I mean, I thought BYU was going to be a really good team last year, or a pretty good team in the Big 12. And I really didn't think they were going to come out and kind of, I thought they were going to be kind of bad this year. I mean, not terrible, but I'm surprised that they're 3-0, to be honest with you. They have played better than I thought they would.
Kansas State, even in the Arizona game, they didn't look that great. I mean, they haven't looked. Avery Johnson really hasn't thrown the ball that much. They pretty much given the ball to Giddens and let Giddens do his thing. Right? They haven't really threw the ball as often as I thought they would. So
I think this is a tough place to play. I think Provo is a tough place to go into. A 7-point here going in there is kind of high to me. But I do think that this K-State team is one of the favorites here in the Big 12. Avery Johnson is basically leading this team. They have had a couple of close calls. They looked pretty decent last week against Arizona.
You don't want to.
So I am going to take the Wildcats here and lay the -7.
You don't want to have a close call.
I just want to give BYU their props.
You don't want to have a close call this week coming down to the end with Oklahoma State looming next week, because that could be double trouble, because you could one loss can turn into two really quick.
All right, Coleman, I'm going to put this up for you on the last one. So Coleman's been our guest picker here from Talkin Kentucky here at College SportsCast. He is doing the last pick of the night here. So I want him to have that up. K-State's -7 at BYU.
Yeah, I think it's going to be pretty easy. I think Kansas State's going to win the Big 12. So I'm going to take them to cover and win over there in Provo. So,
I mean, it's all reasonable. I just know that BYU has looked a little better than I thought they would, and it is a tough place to play. But like I said, I'm taking the K-State Wildcats in this game, and I do think they are one of 3 teams that is going to challenge for the Big 12.
By the way, I just wanted to update you all. Nebraska is up 17-10 on Illinois in the third quarter, so there's still quite a bit to play. So it's been a pretty good game so far. Illinois might be better than we thought, Brad. Me and Brad didn't really think that they would be that great, but maybe they're better than we thought.
Yeah,
I mean, they're hanging in Lincoln.
So far, they have been, for sure.
They have, yeah.
All right, John Roberts, you can close it out with Home Field Apparel. Check them out. And are you wearing a home field tonight, or you didn't have enough time to change and get home?
Yeah, that's my Auburn Wiggle.
I figured you was.
Wiggle.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So that is my Home Field Apparel. Home Field Apparel is college football or college vintage college apparel. They represent over 180 schools in across the country. Schools like Furman, Arizona State, Auburn, Kentucky. They've got all the apparel here. If your school is not represented, don't complain to Home Field. Your school didn't want a license to Home Field Apparel. So complain to your school. Don't complain to Home Field. But it is premium vintage licensed apparel. Home Field Apparel, the best that's out there.
I just
And
want
they
to say
have
something.
really
real-
cool retro throwback stuff. Check
gotta-
them out. If you like retro cool stuff, check out Home Field Apparel.
Ask Brad.
Use our code
I got a,
CSCast
I got
for
a
a 15%
Houston,
discount if you're a first
I got
time
a
buyer.
Houston, I got a Houston Cougars shirt from when they had the Hakeem Olajuwon, Todd Drexler,
Five
There you go, yeah.
Slamma Jamma. There
Five
you go.
Slam and Jamma.
Yeah.
And I want to say this real quick. I hope we have a better weekend than we did last weekend, Coleman.
Yeah, me too.
Kentucky got beat. Dallas Cowboys got murdered on national television Sunday. Like, can it be a better weekend?
Yes, please. Can we have a better? We just need a better
Can we have
weekend.
a better weekend, man? Like,
I think it will be.
Is Dallas
I think it will be.
eliminated yet?
Oh, shut up.
And as I was telling John earlier,
Hey, we're
Oh,
without
shut
a
up,
quarterback.
man. Shut up. Both of you, shut up right now.
Hey, you brought up Dallas. That was your bad.
Hey, it ain't my fault. Y'all ain't got a quarterback right now, Brad.
and as I was telling John earlier, I'll be in Oxford next week for the Cats taking on Ole Miss. So I'm excited to
See,
go over there and check that out. So,
only my family.
Yeah, man.
and only-
That's cool.
and Only you.
So
My family and only you cause my problems with Dallas. Y'all get on my nerves with it, man. Like every year, Christmas, Thanksgiving,
Playoffs.
like, y'all cannot leave me alone with it, man. Like,
Playoffs.
shut up, John.
well, I mean, they give us so much material to use.
No, nobody has.
Our Green Bay Packers destroying
All right, guys.
your.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
That was last
it's kind
year,
of a
though.
yearly thing. It has
Oh,
been.
that was last year. So, but Coleman, I kind of want to say to myself,
All right,
Thank you.
guys.
thank you for coming on tonight. I appreciate you. You're always been good to me and Brad and even John, and I always will appreciate you, and I always retweet your stuff. Like, you're a good dude.
thanks, man. I
And
really appreciate it.
you even had my buddy Franklin. Was it Franklin?
Drew Franklin, yeah.
Drew Franklin. Drew Franklin's my idol, man. Like,
Oh, I love Drew.
I love Drew Franklin.
Nice guy. Yeah, totally. Well, repping. We'll go follow Talkin Kentucky. Gotta go following all things.
Now you got Pete.
Yeah.
Now you got Pete stirred
Talking
up.
Kentucky. Yep.
Now you got Pete. Now you got Pete stirred up. He said, "We at Pittsburgh on Cowboys."
Pittsburgh.
now you got him.
All right,
stirred
guys.
Up, man. Like, come on now. Oh goodness.
This has been College Game Day. Coleman, we do greatly appreciate you being with us tonight. Check us out tomorrow night. It'll be a couple hours after the game is over with because that's on me. I'm working tomorrow, but we will do a post-game show after the Ohio versus Kentucky game.
And
with
John will be
Talkin
on with us
Kentucky
too.
and College SportsCast. We've been
Guess
doing this
who's
each week. Yeah.
Guess who's making an appearance tomorrow?
Yeah, John Hammonds. We can't lose now.
The one and only.
We lose
Hey,
every time he goes to a game, so it better not be. It
Well,
better
he's
not
not
be
going.
tomorrow that he's coming on because of that.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm just
I
saying.
I might be exiting stage left.
Every time he goes to a game.
Oh, goodness.
All right. So check us
I
out,
might have-
John
hey,
Roberts.
I might have to.
Thank
I might
you
have
for
to quit
being
going
on
to football
tonight.
games. I might have to quit going to football games anymore, man.
I appreciate you being here, John. I know it's tough for you, so I just want you to know that I appreciate you being on with us tonight as well. And I hope everyone enjoys week 4 of college football. And I hope that our teams, at least here, all get the win tomorrow.
And please,
Mainly because I picked them.
please, I don't want to have Brad on his normal rants tomorrow. Please pray for the
Yeah,
Wild.
let's be happy. Yeah, let's be happy tomorrow.
Let's be happy tomorrow, man. Like,
Offense.
And it's Josh's birthday too.
It looked like a college offense.
It's Josh's birthday too. We
Yes.
can't leave. We
Happy
can't lose on
birthday,
Josh's birthday.
Josh.
Yeah.
happy birthday, Josh. How old are you? 12? I'm just kidding.
I think he's older than I am. I'm not sure.
I was just kidding, Josh. You ain't 12.
I had to mess with him there. I know how old
Well,
he is, but I'm not going to say. So
Oh, goodness.
follow us on all the things.
y'all have fun. Enjoy the games tomorrow, and we will see you tomorrow,
Robert.
and then we will see you on Tuesday for the Big Fuss Show.
John Roberts, you're the man, by the way. Just want you to know.
Y'all have a good night.
Good night.